Thanks for joining us this afternoon. We are, of course, following the latest out of Baltimore, where a major bridge has collapsed after being hit by a cargo ship early this morning. We just heard the president speak on the incident, and right now rescue crews are searching the water for any survivors. Here's the moment it happened. It's the Francis Scott Key Bridge over the Patapsco River. Crews believe the container ship lost power before veering off course and hitting the bridge. Now, just minutes ago, President Biden announced he will send all of the resources needed to the area. We will have more details in just a few minutes on the bridge collapse. But first, we do want to get to our weather as more spring snow blankets the area again today. Rain quickly turned over to snow this morning, making for a slick commute. Let's check in with Jamie. Jamie, how's the rest of the day shaping up?
Well, we're going to see that snow eventually tapering off, but I wouldn't be surprised for the next hour or two around the metro if we see the intensity pick up, drop off, pick up. But as we get going through the afternoon, it will start to improve around here, and that will help road crews as they clear the roads and Mother Nature isn't dropping more snow on top of it. But there's a look at the current watches and warnings. And we'll see this winter weather advisory in purple. We'll see it chip away from west to east as the snow is departing the region. We'll take a look right now at the satellite radar. You can see as you look to the western half of the state, really not much going on there in terms of that snowfall. But this storm is pivoting pretty much right over us and to our northeast right now. And that's why we continue to pick up this heavier band of snow around the metro, extending up towards the Arrowhead right now. Still rain towards Eau Claire and La Crosse, but there eventually will be snow moving further and further into Wisconsin as this storm is lifting out of here. But like I said, you can see over the next couple of hours how that snowfall intensity is beginning to drop off. By 6 o'clock, temperatures starting to drop, and the snowfall definitely letting up around here. So improvements there expected later today. And then as we talk about the roads around here, well, it has been slow and go to say the least. We do have some widespread areas where the travel is slowing down across the metro and around the metro. I want to show that to you right now. You can see we have seen some good improvements though as we move from red to yellow around the metro. We'll go in a little bit closer to the north metro. You can see Highway 10, 610 in there. You can see the 35 split. And again, we have seen remarkable improvements through the core of the downtown metro area, but parts of 94, especially looking towards Elk River and St. Cloud, that's still very slow and go. We've seen some nice improvements, 35E towards Burnsville, but again, still slow and go as you move east into 494 towards the Inver Grove Heights area as well. So again, it has improved over the past hour or two. I've been watching the traffic there, so that's good to see. And again, once the snow lets up, crews will have a much easier time keeping these roads clear.
Yeah, and hopefully the evening commute's a little smoother.
Yes.
Jamie, thanks. Well, just over 2 hours ago, MSP lifted a ground stop at the airport. It was put into effect because of the ice and snow. So here's a look at the delays and cancellations at the airport right now. Most flights are on time. There's been just one cancellation and a total of 53 delays. We're keeping track of everything you need to know, but between our newscasts, make sure to download the KARE 11 weather app for a personalized forecast. Well, now to our other major story today. Questions are growing in Baltimore after this morning's bridge collapse. We are taking a live look right now at the bridge, where crews say right now they are focused on rescues. NBC's Ryan Nobles is near that scene with an update from officials.
The search and rescue efforts continue here at the site of the bridge collapse in Baltimore, Maryland. The Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsed after a container ship, a 1,000-foot container ship, collided with the base of the bridge, collapsing the bridge in just a matter of seconds. And since that moment at 1:30 in the morning, rescue crews have been frantically searching for a group of construction workers that fell into the water as the bridge collapsed. At this point, rescue workers believe that they are searching for 6 people. They did rescue 2 people from the icy waters. One of them sent to the hospital. The other is okay. At this point, the investigators believe that this was a terrible accident, that something went wrong with the container ship, and they say that the crew on board the ship actually signaled back to the shore that they were having a problem, and that allowed them to stop vehicular traffic over the bridge. And they believe at this point that there are no cars or vehicles of any kind that actually fell into the water, and that meaning that there aren't survivors trapped in cars underneath the river water. Now, this was an extensive search and rescue effort. It brought in aircraft, helicopters, airplanes, boats, dive teams, and also sonar equipment to search for survivors under the water. And officials are insistent that they are focused completely on that effort before they even begin the talk of rebuilding, which will be an extensive process and something very important to this region. This bridge saw more than 35,000 vehicles cross over it on any given day. It is a main traffic artery in the Baltimore region. It is one this community is now without as they begin the process of mourning the victims and also the slow recovery and rebuilding process.
Well, just hours after the bridge collapsed, Mayor Jacob Frey tweeted saying it's a tragedy Minneapolis knows all too well. It's been 17 years since the 35W bridge collapsed. 13 people died and 145 others were injured. In his post, Mayor Frey writes, quote, "Minneapolis stands with you." A safety change is coming to the University of Minnesota. Campus police will soon begin responding to more 911 calls in nearby neighborhoods. Here's a look at what that means.
Good morning, I'm Danny Spiewak. University of Minnesota police are stepping up their responses in the neighborhoods just off campus. They don't have primary jurisdiction over places like Dinkytown, but they are now going to be filling in the gaps by responding to more 911 calls in these areas to assist Minneapolis police due to those major staffing shortages that MPD is going through. This is a pilot program that will initially last 1 year. The U of M is also exploring the idea of putting a safety center somewhere in Dinkytown that could be a hub for public safety and community groups.
Well, just after dinner time tonight, we can expect to have a better look at the governor's vision for Minnesota's future. Governor Walz will deliver the State of the State address at 7 o'clock tonight. Instead of giving the speech at the Capitol, Walz will address the state from Owatonna High School in southern Minnesota. He plans to discuss hot-button issues like reproductive freedom and gun control, while also highlighting education and workforce development. A major voting rights bill is moving forward in the legislature. The Senate Judiciary Committee approved the Minnesota Voting Rights Act, which would allow citizens and organizations to bring election discrimination claims to court. Minnesotans could already do that until last November, when the Eighth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled there's no right to private legal action under the Federal Voting Rights Act of 1965. The court said only the U.S. Attorney General could file those lawsuits.
Doesn't mean they're going to win. They might not. They're going to win sometimes, they're going to lose sometimes. But everyone under the Voting Rights Act should have a day in court and not depend on a friendly or sympathetic attorney general to do that work.
Would the Republican Party or somebody have an opportunity to step in and say, no, there's actually no violation of the act here, and what you're doing is just trying to drive turnout, you're trying to manipulate turnout?
6 states on the east and west coasts have already passed their own voting rights acts. Minnesota is one of 6 states currently debating such a law. Well, today, justices in the U.S. Supreme Court are hearing arguments over access to the most common type of abortions. One side is arguing the FDA broke the law by letting people request the abortion drug mifepristone through the mail and over telehealth. Pills now account for 2/3 of U.S. abortions. Some drug makers say this decision could lead to more legal challenges over FDA approvals. Taking a look at traffic now, if you need to head out on the roads anytime soon, be cautious. You are seeing the roads right there, some slick conditions as those roads are still snow covered and the snow's still coming down in some areas. You know, I actually think the roads were worse as I drove in this morning than they were yesterday.
Yeah. Yesterday we had wet, heavy snow, but it was easy to melt because temperatures were warming. Temperatures are dropping today. We had the rain followed by the snow. Yesterday it was the other way around. So you're going to find that iciness underneath that snow. So even if you're shoveling your driveway later today, you're probably going to notice you're going to have to chip away at that ice that is just kind of built up underneath it. Here's the time lapse from this morning. You see we start out with rain drops, and then it started to turn into a sleet and then followed by snowfall. You can see how that snow starts to accumulate faintly in the background there as the skyline disappears with those heavier showers. 25 degrees right now, feels like 11. That's that northwest wind. We are going to be dealing with the strong northwest wind today. Wind gusts 30, upwards of 40 miles an hour, certainly a possibility. And this snow being a lighter snow is able to blow around a lot more. And that's also meaning that it's going to blow across those roads as crews are clearing it. And likely cars will drive across it. It's going to stick some more and is going to be a problem for a while till Mother Nature quits with the snowfall You can see a lot of the snow-covered roads partially and completely covered across much of the area right now. And for folks that might be a little further east into Wisconsin, snow is headed your way as well. You can take a look at the satellite and the radar right now. And again, you just see how it just kind of pivots right over the metro area. It is still going to be lifting to the northeast, but until it lifts out of here in that direction, we're going to continue to see the snowfall intensity pick up and drop off just a little bit over the next couple of hours. It does look like by about 2 o'clock, we'll see conditions improving around here. There's a look at the current temperatures right now. Teens starting to move in from the northwest, and many of us still now into the 20s. And temperatures will keep dropping later on tonight. We're going to find those lows coming in around the teens, those strong northwest winds. Wind gusts, like I said, 30 to 40 miles an hour, but winds today upwards of 15 to almost 30 miles an hour. It is going to do a number on the visibility because we do have blowing snow in some areas and falling snow in other areas. So that visibility is going to be rather low at times. We've seen the numbers improve a little bit around the metro. They should continue to improve as we go through the rest of our evening. Here's a look at the microcasting again. You get about 2 o'clock. We see the improvement already around the metro. 4, and now it's going to lift even further. We'll get out of here around the dinner hour. We're going to find the snow showers lingering across the northeast part of the state into the Arrowhead, and then tomorrow things finally quieting down for us. But grand totals with today look like about 1 to 3 around the metro, a little heavier to the west and to the northwest, upwards of 2 to 5 there. But again, as you get going through the afternoon, that snowfall intensity drops off. Temperatures will hold steady. Temperatures will start to drop later on this evening as we do start to see a little bit of break in the cloud cover. Temperatures for today, though, a lot of 20s around the region. And we are going to have some cold mornings coming up. We have teens for those morning lows Wednesday and Thursday. But notice Thursday, we're reaching for 40 degrees with some sunshine. Should be a lot of sunshine on Thursday, and that is going to do a number on melting a lot of this very wet, heavy snow we've had. And then we're going to hold on to numbers even into the overnight hours, looking into the weekend next week that will continue to melt. But we have some light showers right now showing up down the road. But again, I think the big stuff is behind us. We just need Mother Nature to start melting it around here.
Yeah, Jamie, I've definitely talked to more than a few people who said that they were going to leave the shoveling and let Mother Nature do the job. So that's good to see.
Not a bad